About a year ago, I watched this video by Jmoji, a challenge where he and Philboat have 1 hour to collect the most cash they can, and whoever ends up with the highest amount wins. And it made me wonder, what is the best way to obtain cash? You can get it from multiple game modes like Turf War, Anarchy, or Salmon Run. So in today's video, we're gonna look at the cash system in Splatoon 3. I'll explain how it works and the amount of cash you can get from the different game modes. Then I'll look into how much money you could theoretically make in an hour. Let's start off with how cash works in Splatoon 3. This can get a little confusing, but I'll try my best to explain it as clearly as possible. In PvP modes, there are 2 different ways to get cash: Turf War and Anarchy. For this, keep in mind that I won't be taking any food tickets into account. This is only the base amounts of cash you can obtain. Turf War is fairly simple. For every game, you're guaranteed a minimum amount of cash based on how much you turfed during that game. So if you turf 500 points, you'll obtain at least 500 cash. And if you win, you get a 1000 cash bonus for it. Taking the example from before, if you lose that game in which you got 500 turf points, then you only gain 500 cash. But if you win, it's 1500. In Anarchy battles though, it's a little more complicated. By the way, Anarchy encompasses Anarchy Series, Anarchy Open, X battles, and challenges that feature the 4 ranked modes. The cash you get from these modes is based on the objective and battle points. In every mode, the objective can go from 100 to 0, and how much you score gives you a certain amount of points by the end of the game. Your score multiplied by 5 is the amount of points you see on the results screen. Those points from objective progression can be seen as the minimum amount of cash in most cases. And when you win, you also get 1500 cash for the win and 500 for the 5 minutes played. When you lose without KO, you only get cash based on the objective, and when you win without KO, you get an additional 2000 cash for winning and the 5 minutes played, along with an extra 600 bonus for some reason. For example, if you play a game in which you score 60, you get 300 points for the objective. If you lost that game, you would obtain 300 cash, but if you won, you would get 2900. However, it's important to remember that these rules do not apply to knockouts. When you win by KO, you get the maximum amount of cash, which is 3500. But if you lose by KO, you get nothing. You could have a score of 99 and you would still get no money for that game if you got KO'd. To recap, the amount of cash you can get from Anarchy is generally based on the points you get from the objective. You can also get 1500 for the win, 500 for the 5 minutes played, and an extra 600 cash. The only exceptions to this are knockouts. But there is one last game mode you can profit from: Salmon Run. Salmon Run is a bit special because there's no guaranteed amount of cash. Everything is obtained from randomized capsules. When you finish a shift, you get points on the capsule meter. Capsules can contain different things such as gear, ability chunks, food tickets, and of course, cash. But these capsules are completely randomized, meaning that you have no idea how much cash you can actually get. But from my experience as someone who's played a lot of Salmon Run, I've gotten anywhere from 20,000 to 80,000 cash from capsules. But on average, I'd say it's more around 30,000 to 40,000. However, you only get those kinds of capsules up to 1200 points on the meter. After that, it's all Grisco gear. To summarize, the amount of cash you can obtain from PvP is based on your performance during the game. And for Salmon Run, you gain capsules up to a certain point that contain random rewards. Now that we've established how the cash system works, let's see how much you could theoretically make in an hour. For this, we're gonna have to make some assumptions in order to get a somewhat realistic estimate. First, keep in mind that I'm not going to take matchmaking into account, so this is 60 minutes of gameplay only. You'll want to start with Salmon Run. Salmon Run gives the most cash out of any mode by far, even if it's less reliable since it's randomized. As mentioned earlier, you can only get cash capsules until 1200 points, and to get there it takes about 4 wins. One shift takes about 6 minutes, so 4 of them would be 24 minutes total. From this, we'll assume you get a humble 35,000 cash from capsule rewards. Then you'll want to switch to Anarchy. Yes, it has longer games than Turf War, but it is much more profitable overall. Since we already spent 24 minutes on Salmon Run, we now have 36 minutes left. Now, Anarchy games are much more inconsistent when it comes to how long they take. I've had games last 50 seconds and others last 7 minutes. But for the sake of this video, let's say they take about 4 minutes on average. We'll also assume that your team scores about 40 points on the objective every game. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but 40 overall. From one game, you would gain 200 cash for your score of 40 on the objective, 1,500 for the win, 500 for the amount of time played, and 600 extra, which is 2,800 total. And in the 36 minutes left, you'd be able to fit in exactly 9 Anarchy games. So 9 times 2,800 makes 25,200 cash from Anarchy. And that fills up our 1 hour of gameplay. But that's not all. Earlier I mentioned food tickets, which can give you 1.5 times or 2 times cash multipliers. The only downside is that these tickets only apply to PvP modes. Taking this into account, you'll end up with 35,000 cash from Salmon Run and 25,200 from Anarchy, or 50,400 with a 2 times cash ticket. This means that in total, you could make 85,400 cash in only 1 hour of gameplay, or over 21,000 more than Felboat did in Jmoji's video. Ever since I saw that video by Jmoji about a year ago, I was really curious about how much cash you could really get in just an hour. And while thinking about it, I was surprised to see how good Salmon Run is. I thought it wouldn't be worth it since the games are longer and the capsules are random, but it's the most profitable game mode by far. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're gonna use this knowledge to buy gear or to spend it all at the shellout machine. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!